everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Movie Crusaders. My name is Sean Wasserkrug, and today we're going to be reviewing the latest action film from Antoine Fuqua, Infinite. Infinite is on Paramount Plus, did not go to theaters. But the main attraction of this, obviously, besides Fuqua's direction, I actually really love Fuqua as a director. I mean, Man on Fire, Magnificent Seven, Southpaw, Brooklyn's Finest. It was more him directing this film that made me want to go out of my way to see this movie more so than the two leads. Now, I do, for the most part, like Mark Wahlberg, and I really love Chiwetel Ejiofor. But knowing that Fuqua was going to have those two, and then seeing what the trailer was of this potential story, is what really gravitated me to check this out. Basically, the main premise of the story is a man discovers that his hallucinations are actually visions from his past life. Basically, it's kind of like Highlander meets The Matrix, also meets The Old Guard. Basically, kind of a nice jumbled mix of that. We got these two basically kind of groups, the Believers, and I'm blanking on the other group, but they're the villain group. And they basically can remember all of their past lives, thus making them stronger, smarter, their abilities endless because they remember everything that they were trained in their previous lives, they remember in their current life. And then you got the villain side, which I'm blanking on the faction that they call themselves, which is led by Chiwetel Ejiofor, who basically is tired of being, basically reincarnated over and over again and wants to basically end life, end the world as we know it. Then you got the Believers, which is the good guy side, who feels that this is a gift and then they should use it to help the world and help everyone that lives in it. Mark Wahlberg's character is basically a character, Evan Macaulay, is a character who is one of these characters, but he doesn't know that at the beginning of the film. He's a schizophrenic. He keeps having visions of his past lives, but he just thinks that it's schizophrenia. Until he basically gets thrown into this world, this war between these two factions. And while the premise is there to be something really intriguing and kind of original in a way, I mean, yes, like I say, it's very kind of like The Matrix and Old Guard meets Highlander, but just the possibilities of knowing, how to, your past lives and all this kind of stuff. It's got an original concept, and with Fuqua directing it, I was really excited to see exactly what path we were going to go down with this. The opening scene starts with a very nice-looking car chase scene led by Dylan O'Brien, who plays the character Treadway. All you know that I'm a huge Dylan O'Brien fan. I loved him from Teen Wolf to last year's Love and Monsters. And of course, he was also in the Maze Runner franchise. So seeing him pop up in this film, especially when I didn't know he was in it, was definitely a welcoming surprise. He's in for about the first 10 minutes, and then they kind of, move on from his character, kind of abandon the character for the most part. And then we're basically following Mark Wahlberg's character pretty much the whole rest of the way. Sophie Cookson plays Maura Brightman. She's basically, many people know her from the Kingsman franchise, mainly the first one over the second one. She's kind of saddled with the exposition role. She's kind of there to, kind of like Cal Carrie-Ann Moss was as Trinity in The Matrix. She's there to guide Mark Wahlberg's character through this journey, explain how the world works and how everything's happening. Nothing against her doing it. She's solid in the role. It's just that you kind of just wish there's a little more to her character than just kind of being there to explain everything for Mark Wahlberg. And there is little things here and there, but it's not delved in enough to really give her something more to do than to just explain everything that's going on. Mark Wahlberg's Mark Wahlberg. He's not really doing anything different in this film that he hasn't done in all of his other action films. And Chiwetel Ejiofor is kind of doing a little bit more of the overacting in this film compared to most of his other roles that I've actually quite enjoyed. The main problem with Infinite is that while there are action scenes in the film, it's boring. It really is. I was having a hard time staying awake through it. I think I dozed off in the middle of the third act, fight scene for 30 seconds, just because I was losing interest as we were going on, because a lot of it was, you had a great car scene to start the film. Then you're learning about Mark Wahlberg's life, and then he gets thrown into this world, and then it's a lot of him just kind of training to be prepared for what's going to be happening and explaining stuff and more exposition and all this. And then we finally get to the final act where everything goes haywire. But even that stuff is not anything we haven't already seen. It's not anything unique. Now, the final battle sequence between Wahlberg's character and Ejiofor's character is a little unique compared to a lot of things we've seen. But at that point, you're just waiting for the film to be over. And that's the thing, too, is like it's not even that long of a movie. It's only an hour, 40 minutes. But by the end of the day, there's no real memorable characters in this film. I was more interested in the Dylan O'Brien story that we got at the beginning of the film than I was the Mark Wahlberg story that we were getting in the film. Which, you know, we get little snippets here and there, but I kind of wanted to go more on that journey than Mark Wahlberg's journey. And then it has, you know, basically kind of a open-ended ending, like there would be a sequel, potentially, of a franchise. I don't see that happening, personally, because it got dumped on Paramount Plus instead of out in theaters, which I feel like if they really felt this movie was going to have a lot of legs, it would have been on a Netflix or, you know, a theater film than Paramount Plus. The thing against Paramount Plus is just, I know a lot of people who don't have Paramount Plus, so it being dumped on there really doesn't bode real well for the franchise as a whole. Fuqua is a phenomenal director. He's got a great eye, especially for the visuals and the action. But I felt like his directing was kind of lacking in this film. Like, yes, everything looks good. Nothing looks bad in the film. There's some CGI issues near the final act that's just kind of questionable. But I feel like the greatness of what Fuqua can do as a director, I felt like got kind of lost in the second act of this film. And just ultimately, the potential was there for it to be something special and something great. And it just kind of felt like another action film, and not necessarily really a good one by any chance. It was just kind of dull, and there's a ton of plot holes that aren't fully explained, and the action's just not quite that exciting or make me something to go, man, did you see that? And I was just like, okay, that's different, but it's not blowing me away. Overall, if you guys have Paramount Plus and this, you know, you're wondering, should I check out Infinite? If you're a fan of Mark Wahlberg and Chiwetel Ejiofor, and even Jason Mantzoukas is in this as well, but he's actually kind of more toned down than he normally is in most of these films. Check it out if you want. I mean, it's not the worst action film. It's fine. It's okay, but it's not something that's gonna blow you away or make you want to rewatch it over and over again, like a lot of other action films. For anyone who doesn't have Paramount Plus, is this the film that's gonna make you subscribe to it? Hell no. Absolutely not. If this was in theaters, I would basically kind of tell you guys, if you wanted to really see this film, wait till like your discount Tuesdays or wherever your movie theaters have discount days and maybe check it out, or wait till it comes out on streaming, which it's out right now. Other than that, I really can't recommend you guys check this out because it really just didn't do a whole lot to really sell me on trying to pitch it to you guys to worth watching this. So, I mean, going to my overall score, I'm going to give it a 57%, which is a C grade because – yes, everything does look great. None of the acting is really bad in the film, and some of the action sequences are solid. It's just kind of a paint-by-numbers, dull action film overall. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, go and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on the Movie Crusaders. And, of course, follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, Brian Michaels and myself will be going over In the Heights, which was one of Brian Michaels' most anticipated films of 2021. And then, of course, next Friday, we will be back again, Brian Michaels and myself, for the Weekend Crusaders, where we talk about 5 movies that came out during that weekend in movie history. And, yeah, we'll see you there. Until next time, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.